Okay, I just want to say something involving this matter. I've been getting a lot of responses with what I said about Victoria Lindsay and defending Ariel. All I can say here, and I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart and the way I feel about this matter, the two people that have been arguing with me over this are two people that are basically anti-April. I will not knock them as far as them being open to debate this. However, their debates give inexcusable reasons to be a little more lenient on these girls. And the bottom line is, there's too many felonies out there. Let me tell you something. A criminal court's going to find these girls guilty. All of them. Regardless if they're being tested as adults or if they go through the juvenile authority system. Some of them will be reduced to juveniles. I do believe that. But don't sit there and resort to name-calling on someone like Ariel, who I commented on doing a very good job. You know, not everything April does in the way she handles her mannerisms, I agree with. But April is in this for all the right reasons. Don't sit there and accuse April of making phony rumors or anything like that on MySpace. You know, all I'm saying here is look at the manners for what they are and use logic. You may know the law, but make the logical choice. That is all I am saying. Make the logical choice. I'm going to say this again, like I said it in text responses that were not even answered. Was Victoria Lindsay's civil rights violated when they picked her up and kidnapped her against her will? Yes. When they refused to let her go when she tried to simply turn the other cheek, which was all she knew how to do. She did not know self-defense. She just tried to turn the other cheek and leave. The girl was hurt already, and they stop her and they hold her there. Was that a violation of her civil rights? Yes. Assault and battery is a felony. Holding someone there so you can almost attempt to kill him is a felony. Kidnapping like that is a felony. You cannot sit there and say that and try what you've been saying and then look to sit there and sugarcoat this matter for any of those girls. They may feel guilty, like one of them, like you're saying one of them is. And for that little girl's sake, I hope so. I personally hope she humbles herself and goes up to Victoria Lindsay's family in tears just for them to accept an apology from her. And to Victoria Lindsay, so she can be humbled as to what she did. Humility is the best thing a teenager like that can deal with. But don't sit there and say, we should be more lenient. Don't sit there and have them feel guilty for a woman who's just ultimately just as guilty as the other girls. Just not guilty of the same things that the other girls will be guilty of. You can say whatever you want to about the matter involving what this one did for Victoria Lindsay and what the other one did for Victoria Lindsay. That has no bearing on what happened to Victoria Lindsay. That has no bearing to the emotional stress that put on Victoria Lindsay's parents. I totally agree with Victoria Lindsay's parents when they spoke out. Why are you sitting here looking at someone like Ariel who's defending Victoria Lindsay and giving Victoria Lindsay all the honors that she deserves because she's not going to have much of that anymore thanks to these girls? Why are you going to sit there and say that? These girls don't deserve leniency. They deserve a lot more. Whether or not they get it, I'll say this. It's not up to me, and it's not up to you. It's not up to Ariel. It's not up to Bill O'Reilly. It's going to be proven in the court system. But let's also look at this matter, because I'm going to jump into another issue which will be talked about in Florida. It'll be talked about on my show, excuse me. And this has to do with the court system in Florida, because we all remember what happened to when some boot camp officers what they did to a 14-year-old kid under the supervision of a nurse that was caught on tape. I want to talk about that and how that's going to be looked at in this case. I'll be honest with you. You're going to see a lot happen between this trial, between the verdict, no matter which way it goes. And believe me, it needs to go the right way, because justice needs to be served. One judge already gave an order and a ruling as far as them on the internet goes. But there's going to be a lot more. Believe me, there's hell to pay for this. Don't sit there and have a pity party for the guilty party. That is wrong.